Well, that was interesting. What would you call that? Reverb?
On the vocals?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, I kind of did this kind of weird panning thing on the vocals. So it's kind of coming out of the left and right speakers and kind of gives a little bit of a wave effect. But definitely reverb on the vocals.
Yeah.
I probably am a little guilty of adding too much reverb to my vocals, but something about that reverb on, really soak the vocals in reverb sounds great to me.
Yeah,
not everybody loves it.
You've got several songs that use that.
Yeah.
It's kind of defining, I think.
It's part of my sound.
For your sound.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, appreciate that.
And you're a pretty talented guy there, John Budnik. You were playing along with that on your acoustic while we were listening to it on the speakers.
Little practice doesn't hurt, as long as my mics were off. It doesn't ruin it for the people at home there, but
it wouldn't have ruined it. It actually enhanced it.
Oh, okay, good.
It sounded pretty cool. So, sorry you at home missed that, but oh well. And speaking of radio-friendly versions,
so we kind of already talked. This is the title track of the new album called "Beginner's Mind," and yes, the recorded version does have explicit lyrics. So I'm gonna do my absolute best to not let anything slip here on the radio here. But yeah, we've kind of talked already about what it's about, and just kind of embracing that uniqueness of yourself. Don't hold yourself back. Approach things with that beginner's mind, and good things happen. So this one is called "Beginner's Mind."
All right.
That's a simple song, please stay tuned. And that's screw your elitist bullcrap. I'm sick and tired of worrying about when they gonna like it. And I've got a beginner's mind. If you ever did anything, well, you would know my kind. No use sitting tower, cause it came so easy. If I'm the one who don't get it, then I'm the one who's lazy. Now I've got a beginner's mind, and if I don't shine, gonna chew me up and spit me out. But I've got one thing to say to you.
Now that should be the title track, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, what's fun about that is one of my songwriting techniques is that I like to let the music sing for me, right? And so one of my favorite parts, it's a little gratuitous for me, but it's also part of like the line I'm gonna have fun for the rest of my career, is at the end of each chorus I say I've got one thing to say to you, and it goes into a solo.
Yeah,
right?
I caught that.
And it's purposeful that it does that because it's time to rock out. And that's what I want to say to you, you know? The song itself is, I've been telling people that, you know, it's 25%, you know, singing to the critic, if I even have any. But really, the majority of it is me singing to my inner critic, you know, and trying to embrace that beginner's mind of just letting go all the inhibitions and stuff. And, you know, because we all got that little person inside of us that says, hey, you know, maybe you're not that as good as you think you are. Maybe why don't you just stay home tonight, you know? And you end up, sometimes you listen to them, you know, and
I don't know how many times
and then
we've listened to that.
Yeah, and you got to get over it. You got to. That song is to that person inside my version of that inside of me. So, but yeah, on the recorded version, I do say some curse words, but I did okay there.
You did good.
That was the first time I've actually sang that song without singing the real lyrics. But yeah, after each chorus, I do a guitar solo. And then on the first chorus I do a guitar solo, and then on the second chorus I do a key organ solo. So it's just a fun one to do. And and you know, the intro and outro is, you know, tie it all together. So
yeah, I like it.
Thank you.
I like it.
Appreciate
you nailed it.
Thank you.
So maybe we could just go ahead and play some of the rest of the music from right from the album.
Sure.
You want to talk about New Vibe?
Yeah, it's funny because New Vibe for me, so there's actually two versions of it, I guess, on the album.
Yeah.
So the third track is called New Vibe, and then the very last track is called New Vibe Acoustic Refrain, and it's the same song, but I sing a verse of it on the acoustic on the last track. So it's one of those songs that I have surprisingly gotten. For me, it's surprising that I've gotten like some really positive feedback and that, like, oh, this is a banger, you know, and because for me it was it's probably one of the least meaningful songs, just being honest here, on the album. But part of songwriting is that sometimes you write something and then it doesn't take meaning for you until later, and I think I'm starting to feel the meaning behind this one, but I guess I'm not quite ready to talk about that piece of it yet. But the genesis of that song is I had purchased a new audio input device for my laptop. I just recently refreshed my laptop, and I got this audio input device to plug guitars and microphones into it, and then I purchased a smaller MIDI keyboard, you know, to make you know, the piano and the organ sounds and stuff. And I went home and I wrote that song using this new equipment, and New Vibe came out. And the idea, I guess, at the time was, you know, kind of like how, like, the analogy I'll use here is like a painter will buy maybe some new paint, will buy a new brush to get inspired, right? And so, like, I bought this new equipment to get inspired, and I need a new vibe, and that's what I was looking for, and I came out with the song New Vibe. Over time, I do kind of feel like this one is going to gain more and more meaning for me, and I think there is a reason why I ended it with an acoustic refrain to put a bow on the album. I've been recently feeling some senses of yearning for the new vibe, and then I think the last song is kind of a final plea of I need a new vibe. So I think that's a fun one to play.
All right, well, here's New Vibe off the recently released album by John Budnik, Beginner's